Hello, all guys, gals, and non binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast, brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout, watch a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and I still don't want any candy that's offered to me by Eddie Guerrero.
Hey, you can trust a Guerrero. We know this.
I feel like everything we've seen thus far means I very much can't trust a Guerrero. Like, it's the whole point of the Guerrero family. Dude, imagine fucking staking your entire family identity, even in kayfabe, on just, yeah, we're all evil pieces of shit. Waka waka. So fucking wild to me. They've just all adopted that. Like, they're just all in on, yeah, we're all assholes. Fuck you.
It's pretty great. But yes, tonight we are returning to Smackdown 2005 to continue our story arc of Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, eventually for the custody of Dominic.
Shit's... I still can't believe we're doing this arc. It makes me so happy. I've been looking forward to coming back to this for a while. But also, holy shit, Eddie Guerrero is a creepy bastard.
Yup. So we are doing the July 14th, 2005 episode. Last time was the June 30th, 2005 episode. So there has been a week in between the infamous July 7th, 2005 episode of SmackDown, which I'll get to.
Man, I wonder why it's so infamous.
Yeah, if you did not watch we talked about it our last episode with episode 73, talking about the July 7th episode, but I will, of course, be happy to reiterate here. So, what happened on July 7th? Well, first of all, we kind of opened the show with a JBL promo because JBL is coming out to complain that after wrestling for an hour last week for the world title at the last minute, Teddy Long was like, holla holla playa. Actually, that wasn't for the world title at all because we have Batista now.
Hey, guess what? JBL? Too fucking bad. Get over it.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Go keep crying about it. But he's now sworn at SummerSlam he's going to beat Batista or whatever.
Sure.
However, out comes, to interrupt him, and I have to explain so much backstory to get this segment to understand, but let's go ahead and go into it, is his limo comes out, and he's like, what? Why? And out comes the Blue World Order.
The Blue World Order? Wait,
yeah,
fuck,
right.
This is a thing, isn't it? Shit.
Yeah, so the Blue World Order was basically ECW doing a parody of the New World Order.
And we're running ECW angles on WWE in 2005 because they would have just recently been bought up, right?
Yeah, okay. So I'll first start with the Blue World Order before we get to the everything else. As I said, the Blue World Order was Stevie Richards, the Blue Meanie, and Nova as the Blue Guy, Scott Hall. He was a parody of Scott Hall. Big Stevie Cool, parodying Kevin Nash. And Hollywood Nova, parodying Hulk Hogan. Right. They were a stupidly popular group in ECW. They did other parody work as well. I think I've seen them do like DX parodies, but everybody really just liked them for the NWO shtick.
Okay, sure. Okay, wait. This is trippy to me because I think I've seen Blue World Order shirts, and I just thought they were like either a meme or like just a blue variant because why not, or like some kind of I didn't think it was an actual thing. I just thought it was what the fuck?
Well, you could argue it's a meme before memes.
Okay, well, yes. Like I thought it was like some fan created thing, or like, you know, someone like not even like a giant like fan created thing, like someone just made some custom shirts and people bought them up because why not? I didn't think it was like an actual faction that was ever on TV regardless of how serious the faction was meant to be taken.
Yeah. It basically existed from 96. They got in July 96 was when they got in right when that happened. Very topical.
Oh my
And
god.
they kept going until 1998 when the Blue Meanie got a job at WWE. So if you watch early 99 WWE, he's in there. And so
Okay.
that kind of basically put the group apart. But in 05, when ECW got back, all the wrestlers are under the WWE employ now.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, WWE ran One Night Stand 2005, a one-off pay-per-view that's basically an ECW love letter.
And of course, it's called One Night Stand. God damn it.
Yeah. They went to back to the ECW arena in Philadelphia. Paul Heyman ran the show. They brought back as many ECW alumni as they could get their hands on to be in the show. In kayfabe, Paul Heyman basically hijacked the WWF for a weekend and was like, "We're running the show." And he brings the Raw and SmackDown rosters to sit up in the balcony just so he can shoot promos on them and get the crowd to boo them.
Wait. He got the crowd to boo like the homegrown boys. Are you kidding me?
The WWF guys. He got them to shit on the Raw and SmackDown guys because they're not ECW.
So wait a minute. This is basically Vince and company turning to the camera and saying, "Yeah, we know you like ECW better than our own guys. So this is like our consolation prize to you." Are you kidding me? That's fucking insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun bits to this episode, and in fact, the DVD for One Night Stand has a special bonus live commentary from JBL, like a commentary feed of JBL up whole night where he just shits on the whole show.
Of course.
Like, but to be fair, they got like the WWE, the Raw and SmackDown guys were told to like bury ECW as best you can, like really sell the idea that these people hate each other.
I mean, that's fair. It's just like fucking wild to me that like Paul Heyman successfully got a WWF crowd to boo WWF people.
Well, it wasn't really a WWF crowd. It was very much more of an ECW crowd, and it had a lot of the same kind of energy that it had in an ECW crowd.
I understand now. Cool.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They ran this back in 2006, and they made it more about a storyline to set up the new ECW TV show. So they main evented with Rob Van Dam versus John Cena for the WWE title, and John Cena has never been more hated in any one night than when he stepped into the ECW arena.
That's a bold claim because we've watched Money in the Bank 2011.
No, because Money in the Bank 2011 is filled with people who have some degree of decorum and decency.
And that does not describe ECW crowds terribly well.
Nah, so many fuck you John Cena chants.
I love it. Absolutely incredible.
Also, I believe it was the birth of the infamous sign, "If Cena wins, we riot," but only in the ECW. And that's been like copied before because it was a famous sign. But I'll tell you this. That night in Philadelphia, I very much believe that could have happened if Cena had won that match.
I absolutely agree with you. I feel like the
they would have burned
the
arena down
easily. Would have been like lighting shit on fire if they saw Cena win.
Yep. Thankfully, Rob Van Dam beat him for the title, so we don't have to worry about that.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, but for 2005, it was basically just a whole like nostalgia trip. Was basically what 05 was for.
But it was fun enough, even if it's still kind of the giant like fuck you.
It was wildly successful, but at the end of the show, they basically have like a WWF versus ECW brawl to end the show. And JBL, for reasons I could not, in fact, figure out, he brains Blue Meanie in the chair with a steel chair for shoot skis and busts Blue Meanie open.
What? Wait, for real?
Yeah, it
What?
wasn't. He just laid him in with a chair shot, and I don't really know why. Maybe JBL was
What?
just feeling like an asshole that night.
I mean, not a
Wouldn't
shock.
be a
JBL seems like the
shock.
kind of guy who's feeling an asshole 24/7.
Yeah, so they're building off of that for this episode of SmackDown. They're building off of like you fucked on Blue Meanie at One Night Stand.
Wait, they just let JBL get away with it and just added it to the kayfabe?
Yep.
Why?
Yep. Because wrestling, really?
But what?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I guess I'm not shocked, but like, I feel like Blue Meanie must have been pissed off about that.
Yeah, closest I think JBL got to any payback is I think Stevie Richards saw it happen and then started punching JBL for real as a receipt. But yeah, they're at this now. It's just part of the kayfabe that JBL brutally attacked Blue Meanie for no real reason at One Night Stand.
Christ.
And so the Blue World Order want revenge, and so tonight they're on the July 7th episode. Is what I mean is the Blue Meanie has a one-on-one match with JBL. More on that to come.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first match of the show is a number one contenders match for the United States title, held by Orlando Jordan, as a reminder.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
It was Chris Benoit versus Booker T, and Benoit won. It will be Chris Benoit versus Orlando Jordan for the U.S. title at Great American Bash, their next pay-per-view.
Woof.
Then we move on to the Blue Meanie versus JBL. The match, quickly, it's a no DQ match, and shit goes wild pretty quickly, actually. It ends when the ending is basically Orlando Jordan tries to interfere and help JBL, but the Blue Meanie is able to get a hold of a steel chair, clock JBL in the face with the chair as revenge.
You'll love to see it.
And then Batista comes out and spine busters JBL, and then helps Blue Meanie pin JBL.
So JBL gets double dicked on.
He gets double dicked on, yes.
Yeah, baby. Fuck yeah, that's my boy Batista right there. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. So the next match of the show is a tag team championship match. Earlier in the show, we get a backstage segment where Eddie Guerrero is just sitting in the locker room, looking off into the distance. And Rey Mysterio comes in and is like, hey, man, it was not cool what you did last week. And Eddie Guerrero's like, I don't care.
Eat shit and die.
But Eddie Guerrero explains that he has a tag title match tonight against Eminem. And who better to be his partner than Rey Mysterio? I mean, Rey Mysterio's only beaten him 5 times in a row. So who better to be my partner? And Eddie explains that, well, Rey, if you could accept to be my partner, or of course we could go out there tonight and we could talk about your little secret, or should I say our little secret.
Oh my god.
This is what Rey convinces Rey to be Eddie's tag partner tonight.
What? This is so... I'm slightly confused here, because why is Eddie entering into a tag match, and why is he trying to drag Rey, who he fucking hates, along with him to a potential victory? I mean, I assume it's for like for vengeance reasons, but
well, don't worry, there is absolutely no chance of victory, because relatively early into the match, Eddie Guerrero just decides to leave and just go sit and watch Rey Mysterio get beaten down 2-on-1. And then when Rey almost manages to win anyway, Eddie Guerrero runs back into the ring and starts putting the boots to Rey Mysterio.
So he just literally gives up a chance at the gold just so he can dick on Rey more. Are you?
Yes.
What a petty asshole. And this is, again, audience, I remind all of you, this is because he lost a few times to Rey Mysterio, and he's mad about it. In a fucking exhibition match, no less. They were friends. They were on a tag team. And they had an exhibition match, and Eddie Guerrero got really fucking salty that he lost. and it's just been a downward spiral since then. Eddie as a character gets built up as this like ultimate sneaky badass, but like, man, he's got kind of a fragile ego going for him.
A little bit. But that is so Eminem obviously retained their tag titles, but that is what will Eddie make Ray do this week? Well, I guess we'll find out.
The continued extortion of Rey Mysterio.
Basically, the next match on this show was set to be Matt Morgan versus William Regal. So this is a good opportunity to bring this up. Is that after the draft, there was a big post-draft trade that sent a lot of other wrestlers to Raw and some wrestlers to SmackDown. To Raw, from SmackDown, they sent Mark Jindrak, Rene Dupree, Danny Basham, Kenzo Suzuki, Hiroko Suzuki, and Chavo Guerrero. None of those except Chavo I care enough about to tell you about, but I have to tell you about Chavo because we talk about bad, this is another instance of, oh shit, I can't believe this happened here. Because on the July 4th episode of Raw was the debut of Kerwin White, where Chavo Guerrero renounced his Hispanic heritage and did whiteface.
Fuck this thing!
Yep. And said, if it ain't white, it ain't right.
I forgot about this.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
The July 4th, 2005 Raw is where this would debut, and he would keep this gimmick until Eddie died. And then they were like, time to you can go back to being a Guerrero for Guerrero sympathy points.
And this was the same episode as the Muhammad Hassan Undertaker kidnapping, right?
Same week. On Raw, they did Kerwin White. On July 7th, on SmackDown, they do the Muhammad Hassan thing.
I'm noticing a bit of a troubling theme amongst 2005's 4th of July week.
Holy moly! What a bad time.
We're definitely not promoting any kind of like white supremacy. What are you talking?
Yeah. So as I said on SmackDown, SmackDown got William Regal, Candice Michelle, Sylvain Grenier, Simon Dean, and Stevie Richards. I will not explain any of them; they don't really matter.
We do love some B Regs.
They were going to have Matt Morgan and William Regal were going to have a match, but they were interrupted by the Mexicools.
Oh, no.
To try to run down Regal in the lawnmower. And then they go in the ring and beat up Matt Morgan. And then they basically cut another promo that's basically the same as last.
The same thing. Okay, wait, hold up. You said something. And it kind of blew past me the first time you said it, but I need to circle back and wrap my head around this. So they did a giant post-draft trade.
Yeah.
So they basically did a draft 2.
A little bit. You could argue it's kind of like just another part of the draft. Yes.
What? Oh my God. Why? What is the purpose? We just did a whole fucking draft. Why do we do more draft but not call it a draft?
Because we wanted to do more draft, but we can't call it draft anymore.
Just make the draft bigger. This doesn't seem like it's that hard.
You'd think, but apparently it is. So sorry about that. So the Mexicools now more explained. They don't care what ethnicity you are. They're gonna kick ass. They're gonna kick your ass, and they are not Mexicans. They are Mexicool. Good times.
Very cool.
Then we get oh brother, here we are. The Undertaker versus Daivari. So earlier in the show, Daivari and Hassan go to Theodore Long's office to complain that they are not in a number one that they are not, contenders for the WWE Championship. I misspoke earlier. JBL and Batista are going to fight at the Great American Bash.
Yes.
So after that, not SummerSlam. After that, Hassan is complaining that he is not next in line after that match, after the Great American Bash. And Theodore Long is like, sorry, player, you're going to have to earn it. So tonight, so at the Great American Bash, you can have your match with the Undertaker will be a number 1 contenders match for the WWE Championship. Okay, and he explains that if you're itching for a fight tonight, well, Daivari, you can have a match, but you go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Okay, fair enough.
And so later in the locker room, Daivari is freaking out. And Hassan tries to calm him down and explain that he gets it. It's going to be tough. But tonight, you are a sacrifice for the greater good. And then he whispers something in Daivari's ear to calm him down. And we'll pay that off later.
Is Muhammad Hassan out here fucking offering Daivari 72 virgins or whatever?
I think he offered the wrestling equivalent. We'll get there.
Oh, God.
So we get to the match. It's a squash match, as you'd expect.
As I'd expect.
But after the match, Hassan is just kind of happy, is just smiling and laughing. And then out comes 5 dudes dressed in all black with like the ski mask on and the camo pants. And they all come to a beat down of the Undertaker. And one of them pulls out copper wire and chokes out the Undertaker with the copper wire. They just kind of hang out, sit on that camera-wise for a while.
On the side of the Undertaker getting choked with copper wire?
Yep.
Yes.
And then after that, Hassan comes into the ring, stands over the Undertaker, yells, "Praise Allah!" puts Undertaker in the camel clutch, and then leaves the dead, in the ring. And then they all grab Daivari, and the masked men carry Daivari like Christ post style. And you got Taz on commentary talking about Daivari being some kind of martyr.
Oh, I'm sure that was riveting to hear Taz talk about the complexities of like Islamic extremist faith.
Right. So, this is all, as we've talked about, the Muhammad Hassan character that was originally created to be a commentary on racism, against unfair prejudices against Muslim and Arabic people in America in a post 9/11 world. Now does an angle where he has a bunch of masked men meant to evoke Islamic terrorists.
Our favorite kind of character trope, the one who's sympathetic and objectively right, but then he takes it too far, and so he's a bad guy.
And the character might have survived this. It would have just been yet another racially insensitive character. However, this story was not filmed on July 7th, 2005. Smackdown was a taped show, but it aired on July 7th. July 7th was the same day as the London terrorist bombings, on the 7/7 bombings, and WWE put a warning before the show that some imagery seen on this show may be considered sensitive, but they did not. But they still aired the segment, and UPN at the time told them to shut that shit down right now.
Yep. And nobody got punished for it except Muhammad Hassan's career.
Nope. He will never be seen again on TV. They do the match at the Great American Bash where the Undertaker squashes him and then chokeslams him through a stage, and we never see him again, and we never talk about him again.
Absolutely incredible. Because really it was his fault at the end of the day that like all this went down like this. I mean, obviously.
Yep. So I hope he's very fulfilled as a school principal these days.
Yeah, no, that's kind of a dope. I'm like unironically happy for him. That's like wholesome content. I hope Muhammad Hassan is having a great time teaching.
Yeah, But this thus ends the era of Muhammad Hassan, and it's the kind of I honestly almost wanted to do this episode for this arc, but I can't justify it story beat wise. It's pretty nothing episode for Ray and Eddie, so I couldn't justify putting this episode in here. But if I could have, I would have, and we could have talked about this more in depth.
Oh boy, there's a part of me there's a large part of me that's very happy you couldn't justify.
Yeah. So then the last match of the episode, Batista versus Christian. Batista's first match on SmackDown. The hyping of is a big deal. Batista wins, and then after the match, JBL and Orlando Jordan come to beat him down to get revenge for earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that heel jackass is gonna heel jackass. What are you gonna do?
Yep. So that is where we're at. That was the July 7th, 2005 episode of SmackDown. Tonight, we're going to watch the July 14th episode of SmackDown. Now, if you would like to watch along with us, you can do so at peacock.tv.com. It is NBC Universal streaming service. And they have all of WWE's streaming service content, all their back library. They have all the episodes on SmackDown on there. It's $4.99 a month with ads and $9.99 a month without ads.
Yep. Cock, but if you want to do it the legit way, there you go. Godspeed.
I don't have a good piracy option for all you freaks out there.
No, so I like singing yo ho yo ho.
Yep. So we'll be back in the back half to talk about the July 14th, 2005 episode of Thursday Night SmackDown.
See you later.
And we are back. We have just finished the July 14th, 2005 episode of SmackDown.
Shit remains absolutely fucking weird and wild. We're definitely in like the death knolls of the Attitude Era, or the Ruthless Aggression era, to be sure.
This is dead center of the Ruthless Aggression. So.
Okay, I don't know. Wait, it ends in 08, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I always think it ends in 05. Okay.
No.
This is this shit's absolutely wild. Like everything going on here. It's like it's a combination of this is like WWE at its peak, like simultaneously trying to be like super legit wrestling now, and also still some goofy bullshit that only WWE can do as a company.
Yeah. It is, we'll talk about the Eddie Guerrero thing kind of right now, actually, because that's the first thing that opens the show.
Yeah.
But what a turn this Eddie Guerrero story took tonight with Rey Mysterio not here.
I will say, before we get into the the Eddie Guerrero thing, I do want to talk briefly about a couple things, because the episode starts with like a last time on SmackDown recap. And a couple things. First of all, I realized watching this that JBL kind of reads like a young Vince, and oh my god, all of a sudden everything with him makes so much more sense. Vince is looking at this guy, he's like, I don't know, there's something I like about him.
Yeah, it's great.
Apparently last time he had a line about Batista, you look like Tarzan, and no,
it's because he's the animal.
But
Batista.
He doesn't look like, he looks like Tarzan just as much as any of the other dudes on this program look like Tarzan, in that he's a muscly, shirtless man in a leotard whatever.
Well, JBL really liked his "I'll make you cry like Jane" line. Okay, so we're gonna have to just work backwards.
Yeah, we gotta have our shoehorns. Speaking of Disney properties, we also get a clip of the Blue World Order, which again is apparently a thing, and they somehow look even more fucking ridiculous than I could have ever pictured them.
They do, yes.
The Blue World Order graffitis JBL's car, and JBL's of course all incensed about that. But like the graffiti, they graffiti BWO onto JBL's car, and the graffiti looks pretty spot on for like what the NWO graffiti was, and I have to wonder if BWO had to go through like Disney style signature training to get that graffiti
Get that-
just right.
Yeah, you got to make sure you do the sign right, or everyone's going to be mad about it.
Yeah, the W has to be like just disproportionately big enough, and like constructed in such a way, and the O has to be of this exact like level of ovularity. There's a very precise science to all of this. But yes, then we move legitimately into just kicking the fuck off with Eddie Guerrero. Somebody has in the crowd a very sincere Eddie stop blackmailing Ray sign, and I sure hope this man pays attention to that very heartfelt message.
Yeah, I feel bad for that person because they're not going to get what they want.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're not quite getting that wish coming true. Unfortunately, they forgot to factor in the part where Eddie Guerrero is fucking psychotic.
Yeah, that's sad to say. Yeah, so we start with an Eddie Guerrero promo. He explains that Eddie is not here this week.
That Ray's not here this week.
That Ray is not here this week. That's what I said.
Yes.
Is Eddie explains though that Ray, if he thinks he can run away and avoid being humiliated by Eddie, well, that's not how this works, because
that's not.
He knows Ray's secret.
He's all in on the secret, this big mysterious secret that I have no idea what this secret's gonna be. And he wants to the SmackDown wants to make sure that everybody especially does not know what this secret is going to be, because man, they sure just keep cock teasing the fact that there's a secret, and the moving parts are Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, and Dominic. Oh boy. I feel like it's kind of obvious what this is about to be. Seeing how they play it up tonight, especially. Yeah, I feel like this is a pretty telegraphed twist, right?
A little bit. Maybe just because I already know, but I struggle to think of other things this could be.
Well, yeah, it's mostly the fact that he's making extra special sure that Dominic he just keeps fucking mentioning Dominic, I hope you're listening. Dominic, don't let your dad put his hands over your ears. Dominic, I want you to hear this.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it could really has to be about paternity, though obviously the specifics are what they are.
Yeah, again, they haven't really revealed anything, but at some point you got to be like, there is a child involved that is important in the life of both of these men.
I wonder what this could be, but yes. Eddie plays a replay from 2 weeks prior, that we were there for.
He's got to play the footage.
And Eddie, after he shows the replay, Eddie talks about how you should have seen what I had planned this week, Ray. But Eddie, he's not going to let Ray ruin his plans just by him not being here.
Absolutely.
And so he decides that what he'll do is, with Ray not here, he'll just tell the secret right now.
Oh my God. Okay. Fuck. I can't. I think this is as he was saying this, but he's talking about how he can make Ray do anything for him in order to keep this secret. I made you open the ring ropes for me. And then he goes, I know your son Dominic would love to open the ropes for Uncle Eddie. Nope. Bad touch. Bad touch. Not again.
This is feeling a lot creepier than it had to.
He can't keep getting away with it.
Except he will.
Except he will continue to do exactly that, because what is 2000's SmackDown without Eddie Guerrero just stirring shit constantly?
2005 SmackDown is a lot crazier than I thought it was. And we'll talk more about that. We'll get more to that,
we will. Holy shit. Your reactions to this are just pure gold.
I should have kept a counter of how many storylines. I was like, what the fuck? This is now.
Yep.
I mean, we're up to 2, really.
I always get concerned when that happens.
Mexicools and Melina debuting, I was also like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And considering the last time you were saying that was about fucking oh shit. Oh, the Godfather. Oh God, I didn't know we were getting him now. The hits keep on hitting for the things that are blindsiding you, my man.
Yeah, we get a couple more blind sides tonight. But back to this is so Eddie, he says hi to Dominic and he says, remember, Uncle Eddie loves you. And
Uncomfy,
he
uncomfy,
he
very
he
uncomfy.
asks Dominic to get right up close to the TV because he knows that him and Ray are watching tonight.
Oh, I want to point out that he fucking steals a chair from the timekeepers.
Well,
Which
we'll get to that. We'll get to that in
oh,
a
I thought
minute.
this was when he was already sitting down.
No, because
Oh,
it's all part of the build-up. Is
I
because
see.
he says he's now finally going to tell Dominic that bedtime story that he promised him.
Yep.
But he says, it's bedtime story. We got to get real comfortable here.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
then he yells at Tony Kimmel, one of the ring announcer, to give him his chair.
Which Tony Kimmel does. Because everybody's fucking scared of jacked ass Eddie Guerrero.
I would also be scared of jacked
I would also
ass
be
Eddie Guerrero.
horrified.
Yeah, so Eddie, he sits down in a chair and he starts telling the story of a little boy named Dominic.
And before we go on, I just want to say, like, this whole time, the crowd is, like, going hard against him. And as a ginormous Rey Mysterio's fan who thinks he just gets so overlooked half the time by this company, there's something that's really heartwarming about it, seeing a WWE crowd, like, so behind Rey that, like, before the secret even comes to fuck out, just the fact that Eddie's been fucking with Rey is building, like, nuclear heat with this crowd and they are booing him mercilessly. Does my little Rey Mysterio loving heart good. But anyway,
Eddie, he starts telling the story of a little boy named Dominic who one day he ran out to the woods to play with his uncle Eddie. And we don't get any further into the story because Eddie notices out comes Vickie Guerrero and their two daughters.
Yeah, okay. So this shit's insane. So Eddie vaguely implies this is Vickie's first time on TV. Is that true?
Probably. Vickie Guerrero had never really been a presence on screen until, really, it wasn't until Eddie's death and it being like a way to give Vickie a job as a sorry for your husband. Yeah, sorry about your husband. You're a single mom now situation. That was when she became a real on-screen figure. So this genuinely might be the first time we've ever seen Vickie on camera.
That's okay. That's insane. Even so, Eddie sees Vickie, and he's basically going like, "Baby, no, go home, get out of here. This is my work. You're not supposed to be here. Let me do my job." Which I wrote down in my notes as Eddie says, "Make me a sandwich." He's basically saying, "This is not your place. I'm working. This is my place as the man of the household.
This is man's work."
Yeah, if blackmailing your on and off best friend is man's work.
Yeah.
But yeah, the wild thing being that Vickie's standing there with the two daughters, and she looks horrified. Vickie is clearly against this whole thing. Sympathetic face, Vickie Guerrero. What is happening? Who is this woman? What has she done with the excuse me lady?
Yeah, she's not gotten there yet. She's not that person.
Damn. Wow. It's just bizarre seeing Vickie Guerrero on screen and like, I mean, I love Vickie and I am always happy when she's on screen, but like seeing her and like we're supposed to like her. What?
Yeah. So Eddie is confused about why they're here, and he's like, no, go to the back, get out of here. And as he gets more aggressive with it as the segment goes on, which we'll get to that. But Vickie Guerrero rips the mic away from Eddie, and she is like, "This is getting out of hand," and she's like, "Please don't do this. Please don't give away this secret that she doesn't know." She just is like, Ray is a good man and a good father. Don't do this. You're hurting your family. You're hurting me. You're hurting your daughters. Don't do this.
Very, very impassioned, please.
Yeah, but her suggesting that Ray is a good man and father kind of is what pisses off Eddie to the point that he like very forcefully grabs her and takes her backstage.
Yeah, again, real mysterious what this secret could be if that's the thing that set him off.
Yeah,
Wonder what that's all about. But like what's even more wild about this is like there's clearly an air to this of like Eddie kind of didn't want Vicky to know question mark, which like my man, if you're broadcasting this on national TV, she's gonna know. I don't think you thought this all the way through.
Yeah, do you think Vicky doesn't watch SmackDown? I mean, I guess I get that in that no wrestler ever watches SmackDown.
Ha!
So, maybe it's a fair assumption that your wife also doesn't know what happens.
Nobody in the industry actually gives a shit about SmackDown. It's the safest place to like air all your dirty laundry. Because
it's not that. It's that wrestlers never watch any TV to know what happened what happened when that was caught on camera.
Fair enough.
So, like, I guess I get why he might assume that Vicky didn't know what happened on SmackDown because no one he works with watches SmackDown to know what happens. So,
why would his wife?
Yeah.
Plus, when she's here, okay.
Yeah, as she gets backstage, Vicky is continuing to kind of plead with Eddie about this to calm down. He's like, "I'm not calming down. I'm trying to provide for this family."
Again, this is
get out of here.
Work.
This is my work. And
Vicky, embarrassing me at my place of work.
God.
Trying to blackmail my best friend here. God.
Yeah. This Vicky eventually has enough of Eddie just being angry and mean. And so she's like, I'm taking the kids. We're getting out of here. You need to calm down.
Bye, bozo.
And as they're arguing in front of this car, in front of the car, Bob Holly comes up, interjects himself here to be like, "Hey, Eddie, calm down, man. Hey, White Knight, Bob Holly."
Yeah, what does Bob Holly have anything to do with Eddie or anything really up to this point? No.
It is an excuse for the match to happen later.
But why that match? Why that matchup? Couldn't there be anybody backstage better suited to like talk Eddie down from the ledge?
Well, because Hardcore Holly is unimportant from a narrative perspective, so Eddie can just beat him, and who cares?
But it would help bolster the import of this storyline if we had someone who's like important to Eddie being the one to step in, not just Bob Holly. Okay. Who am I to question the eternal wisdom?
Yeah, so Eddie pushes Holly away from him. And he's like, you see what you made me do? Now we got other people involved in this business. And Holly comes and like bumps Eddie into the car door. And at this point, Vicky gets in the car herself and she leaves. And Eddie tries to like comfort his kids.
I will say when it comes to the kids, I have to shout out that like his younger daughter, assuming they were in on this, right? His younger daughter is acting the hell out of this. It looks like she's fucking crying. Maybe she was. Maybe she wasn't in on it. And Vicky's just like, come on, we're going to go see Daddy backstage. And he just starts like flipping his shit. But his older daughter is just sitting in the car looking hugely nonplussed. She's got like this blank expression. She's like, whatever, Dad.
Yeah, child acting is ups and downs here.
I just love the completely separated degrees of commitment to the bit here. But shout out to the youngest daughter. That was a fucking Academy Award earning performance, okay? God damn. I believe that crying.
Yeah, so Eddie, he tries to comfort his kids, but he still demands they all get out of here. Yeah. Which they do, but we will come back to Eddie later. Mm-hmm. First match of the show, the Mexicools. Their first match against the eclectic team of Paul London, the Cruiserweight Champion, Funaki, and Scotty Too Hotty. I was hoping to see the Worm, and there was no Worm.
Unfortunate. What is, is that just the dance move, the Worm?
I feel like surely we've seen him do the Worm before, because we've watched a two.
I think we have. Okay.
His ridiculously overcomplicated elbow drop that is the Worm. He does the Worm and he
I remember
out,
this now. Yeah.
Shit.
Oh, we love the goofy bullshit. We love it. Mwah, give me more.
I made note that Super Crazy came out with a rake. That
Yes.
it was not used. I was hoping it would be.
I don't know why.
But do you get it? Because they're gardener, Mexicans.
Oh my
gardeners.
God! Yeah, okay.
It's why they come out in lawnmowers. Is the same reason.
They're Juan deers.
Juan deers, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So while they're coming out, Taz does bring up the question of he wonders how much gas it takes to ride that Juan deer from Mexico to Buffalo.
I missed that. Taz, do you think they drove those things all the way here, Taz?
He does seem to believe they drove them all the way to New England.
You think that? Why would you assume that?
Yeah. And then, him and Michael Cole have a bit of a joke about gas prices these days. Yuck, 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 yuck.
Oh man, that one hurts. Yeah, I know you fucking public transport users.
I don't give a shit about any of that. Fuck, that sounds like you people.
But oh boy, as a constant car commuter, oof, ow, owie. I'm sad now.
And come out and have the match. It's a pretty fun match because everyone it's a cruiserweight athletic fest. So
yeah, and a 3-way match nonetheless. Those are always fun. The little bit of extra, that little bit of added bit of chaos adds a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, this had to have been WWE miking their cameras different back in the day. Because on this episode, and especially in this match, I heard so much more grunting than I'm used to. Grunting, shouting, yelling, etc. Also, I think it was, it was either Scotty 2 Hotty or Paul London. I think it was Scotty. Got one of the Mexicools in his grasp at one point.
Scotty wrestled 80% of the match at least.
Okay, but he got the Mexicools in his grasp at one point and starts just bitch smacking one of them. But I noticed my man was fucking stage slapping. I saw the hand go across, and on the other side of the whatever Mexicool's face, I saw the other hand come up to make the clap sound and then quickly go back down. And I was like, wait a minute. I know how to do that. Wait a minute. He's engaging in a proud tradition here. I
must have quite missed that. It's a little weird because usually, good old fashioned slap to the thigh is usually how you do that kind of sound effect.
Yeah,
wrestling.
That's usually for the kicks and shit, though.
True, but they also will do that for anything like that. It's a strike. It's supposed to make a noise like that.
That's fair.
They'll do it. They don't usually do actual stage slaps. So
yeah, but what's especially wild about that is so the way he was facing was the hand that was making the clap sound was pointed away from the camera, a little hidden behind the head, but he was doing that in full view of hard cam side audience or hard cam facing audience, and I have to wonder if it looked just as fake to them as I would imagine seeing a stage slap from the other side.
That night was the night that some little kid learned that wrestling is fake.
Hey, yo, Ma, I think we got scammed. Dude, that fucking Hassan.
Hey, yo, Ma, I think we got scammed.
Yeah, maybe that's the show that the kid in Hassan's chat went to, where he's like, yeah, I always thought it was real. And then we went to his show and we got really good seats and saw it up close. And I was like, hey, yo, Ma, this shit seems fake. I think we got scammed. It was all thanks to Scotty 2 Hotty's stage slaps. Amazing.
I made a note that at one point, Super Crazy is on the apron, does a weird laugh because he's crazy.
Yo, soy super crazy.
Yeah, and then Scotty super kicks him off the apron.
Hey, super crazy meet a super kick. Hey, yo.
Yeah. So
also. Oh yeah, sorry, keep going.
I was saying, middle of the match is basically the Mexicools doing a lot of not getting out of the ring when you tag out kind of stuff. Absolutely. And Michael Cole was clearly complaining about it on commentary because at one point Taz yells, "Rule schmooze, have a little fun here."
Yeah, I know. He's been a bastard from day one, and he will continue to be a bastard till he takes his dying breath. All right, but yeah, I love how his rebuttal is, yeah, rule schmools, have a little fun here, right? Taz is here for the lawless bullshit. Taz's favorite referee is Rick Knox.
Hell yeah. I made that joke when we were watching of look how bad Rick Knox is as a referee.
God damn, every time SMH my head, you know.
Definitely. We get to near the end of the match. Funaki, who basically didn't do shit whole match, kind of disappointed about that, gets leveled outside by Super Crazy, and then it's Juventud, Hoovy, the Juice, and Scotty 2 Hotty in the ring. They're both down. They both knock each other down. To which Taz says, "Juicy is down. Worm is down, huh? Juicy Worm."
Juicy Worm. The Tasmaniac, Mr. Maniac, if you will, is a simple man with simple pleasures, such as considering gas prices for Juan Deere's, deciding that fuck the rules, we need to have some fun, and being entertained by such comedic moments of genius as Juicy Worm.
Totally. So the match ends where Paul London, he kind of gets in and gets the hot tag guy. You know, I mean, he is, you know, the cruiserweight champion. So he's kind of presented as like on an individual basis, he's the best guy here.
Absolutely.
But he is set up. He's got Hoovy set up to hit him from the top rope. And here come the Mexicools. Psychosis kind of distracts him for a minute. And then Super Crazy comes up from the other side. And first he like jumps and drops him neck first onto the ropes. And then Super Crazy does like a jump from outside the ring into the ring into a springboard, splash.
Yep.
It was from the middle. It was crazy.
It looked like it was a dope fucking move. He kind of like only ended up hitting with his like right leg, but it still looked cool.
Yeah, and then after that, Juventud gets to the top rope and hits a 450 splash.
Oh no, that's what it was. It was Juventud doing the 450 that only hit. Never mind.
He didn't hit it didn't hit a lot, but he definitely hit Paul London square in the gut with one of those legs.
And the announcers did their best to make it feel like it hit.
Yeah, they tried.
They did their best.
Yeah,
they're like, taking the full impact of that leg.
Sure, you did.
You can hear them scrambling in real time. I love that shit. Anyway.
So the Mexicools, they win their first match by pinning the Cruiserweight champion.
Gotta say, that's a hell of a way to establish yourself. It's pretty fucking
bad. Yeah, so after that match, we go backstage where Candice Michelle is looking in a mirror, admiring herself. And
as you do.
Here comes Christian.
Hey, big man on campus, Christian Cage.
He's flirty a little bit, not as much as I thought he was going to be honest. It turned into him just talking up himself.
What really got me about Candice herself was the fucking camera starts just staring straight down at her cleavage, and
the camera was perfectly placed to look for cleavage square in the middle of the shot.
Yeah, and the audience cheers the audience pops big for Candice Michelle, and man, really wonder why. But then Christian asked her what she's up to, and she's like, "Oh, I was getting ready with a handheld mirror in the middle of a random hallway."
Yeah. And she's talking about, she's got to meet everyone backstage. She was post-draft traded to Smackdown last week. Why were you not at work last week, Candice?
Look, she needed the time to adjust to the change. She had a whole fucking handheld mirror to transfer from the Raw locker rooms to SmackDown locker rooms. That's some heavy fucking lifting, all right? Give her a break here, man.
I guess. So Christian starts. He makes an offer to Candice if she wants any help or any insights. He's happy to give them. I mean, he's only been here 2 weeks, and yet all the young kids in the locker room are already asking him for advice.
Are they now?
Yeah. which again, as I point out, I thought this was going to be a lot more flirtatious, but it ends up with just him saying how awesome he is.
Which honestly feels a little more on brand for Christian.
Mm-hmm.
Christian doesn't have time to flirt when he's got to fucking talk himself up most of the time. There is one person Christian Cage will reliably flirt with, and that is himself, motherfucker.
Absolutely. But then as he's talking his bullshit, Booker T comes up and is like, tell me you did not just say that.
He is rather unimpressed by Christian Cage's grandstanding. Whoops.
Nah. So Booker T, he explains that, if you want respect on SmackDown, you got to earn it in the ring tonight. And he hits all his catchphrases of like against the five-time WCW World Champion. Now, can you dig that, sucker?
Christian Cage did not get terribly offended that he got called a sucker, and I was terribly disappointed because I find it funny when people get offended at the fact that Booker T called them a sucker.
Yep. So then we get an interview backstage with Josh Matthews interviewing Batista.
And Batista just kind of gives a generic like, yeah, I'm gonna kick JBL's ass, and I'm super cool. My name's Batista. Love me, and the whole crowd goes fucking nuts.
Yeah, well, he says he's a student of the game, which feels like a stealth pun, considering Batista was part of Evolution, where with Triple H as the leader of that group, so he was in fact a student of the game.
That's so fucking weird. I love when every once in a while WWE will just throw in random fucking nods to continuity, because they're not big on appeasing to the dorks and the continuity nerds, but once in a while they'll just throw something fucking random in there, be like, did you catch that? See, that one was for you. Okay, bye.
Yeah, all right. Shut up and don't talk to us for like 2 years.
You get one of these every fucking 730 days. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, so he says that he watches SmackDown every week, and he's realized that JBL is a bully, which base correct, yes.
Yes, correct.
And he explains that you deal with bullies by punking them out and beating them up. And last week he punked out JBL, and at the Great American Bash he's gonna beat him up.
Time to beat him up.
And then Batista steals fucking Cena's shtick.
Yeah,
he explains that that JBL is gonna get an attitude adjustment.
Yeah, I heard him say that. I'm like, that's not your move. Why are you saying that like that's a pun for you?
Now, I suppose to be and fair, John Cena would not rename the FU to the attitude adjustment until after we all go PG, and it's not cool to say that. We can't have
cool to imply the fuck
the FU, but yeah. Rest in pieces, John Cena's old move names, the FU and the STFU.
Oh, always a tragedy that we lost them. Rip in peace. Okay, but he still said it like attitude adjustment was like a pop line for him.
Yeah, so... it was a big it was a line ender. It was like, and then you're supposed to pop here when you say when he says the word attitude adjustment, and it's like, okay. Did
Cena get that bit from him? Is that where he got the name for this shit?
Maybe. I didn't realize Batista ever used the term attitude adjustment like that.
Well, here we go. I don't know, waka waka.
We transition backstage. M&M are just walking, hanging out.
Yeah, they're vibing. They're on their way to the ring.
Melina sees something in the distance in front of the camera, and she's like, I got to deal with this. You guys move on. And it is Tori Wilson signing a cover of WWF magazine with her on it, with her in her Americana getup, because she's on the poster for the Great American Bash pay-per-view.
Yep.
I admit that I don't really know the women of this era very well, so for some reason I thought she was Stacy Keibler for a second.
Yeah.
I think it was the blonde. I think it was the blonde, because now that I'm thinking about it, now that I'm remembering what Stacy Keibler's face looks like, she doesn't look like Tori Wilson at all. But I was like, blonde, tall,
You could have
Stacy
fooled me, my
Keibler?
man. You
Yeah,
could have fooled me.
but it's Tori Wilson, and Melina's just like decides to just start shit over this. It's like you think you're all the hot shit, you're on the posters and all that. Well, you suck. And she is going to challenge Tori. She challenges Tori to a match at the Great American Bash, and she is going to expose her. This is unfortunately important because Tori Wilson then gets real up close and is like, if exposing me is what you want, then let's make it a bra and panties match.
Oh, God damn it.
And Melina accepts because she explains it doesn't matter. She's not going to lose. So the crowd, the people are not going to see her down in her underwear because she's not going to lose. She's going to strip all Tori's clothes off. So
yes. Yes, that definitely does not spell doom for Melina. That's definitely not her hubris.
Let me go ahead and make a bold prediction about how this match goes. I will be watching Great American Bash myself. We're not going to cover it on this show, but I will make a bold prediction.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
That Tori Wilson will win the match, and then she will voluntarily take her clothes off anyway.
Is that a thing that tends to happen?
Yep.
Wait, why?
Because in the end, it's all about seeing all the chicks in their underwear. It's super common. It's not every bra and panties match, but it's enough of them. I know it's trope when I see it.
Voluntarily.
After we have the
match, who write this show made me do.
Yeah, let's not get deeper into that right now. This is the next match.
We got to get that poetic justice in. Exposed, you say? Well, do I have a perfectly themed match for that turn of phrase?
What an interesting choice of words.
My favorite type of way to decide a match is like making a pun out of a turn of phrase. Yeah.
Woo! So, next match is going to be Heidenreich versus, well, we'll get to it. But I noticed I've never seen Heidenreich's entrance as a babyface. So I didn't realize he comes out doing this like crazy, like hi-ho arm movement with only his right arm.
Yeah, he looks like robotic as shit, which is weird.
Heidenreich.
See a fucking like wind-up toy coming down to the it's that like choppy of a movement. It's so fucking weird.
I was like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing, man?
Yeah, you seem taken aback. I just kind of assumed you knew what there was to know about Heidenreich, so that's funny to me that this fucking blindsided you.
I am learning that I do not know enough about Heidenreich's career, clearly.
Yes.
He keeps surprising me more and more every time.
There is endless surprise to be had about Heidenreich. I mean, like, you start with, yes, my man was supposed to be an unfrozen Nazi, and it's just kind of all wild shit from there.
Yeah, I suppose. But it doesn't really matter what the match was going to be because Eminem showed up and beat his ass. So
yeah, they never really specify. So Eminem just shows up, and like Melina gets on mic to start taunting him, and she's like, before we get going, one more thing I gotta point out is fucking Taz, as Heidenreich is making his entrance, makes some comment about like how the Great American Bash really is the American pastime, and I feel like that greatly overestimates the importance of the old GAB, you know.
But yeah, a little bit.
Sure thing, Taz. But yeah, so they're just here to beat up Heidenreich, and Melina gets on mic, and she starts taunting him. She's like, "You don't have friends here. You're all alone. I have friends, and they're gonna kick your ass." And sure enough,
rush.
Well, look, the obvious answer here, if we're talking about like Heidenreich's friends, out comes Michelle McCool. Animal?
Ooh, what a rush. The Road Warrior Animal is here.
Wait, no, isn't Michelle McCool supposed to be his friend? Why the fuck is Animal here? What happened to Michelle?
Because thing we're about to do in a second.
But where's Michelle? She's his friend. She's established as his friend. What? Where did she go? What? Wow. Way to fucking just dip on Heidenreich after he saved your ass from Eminem last time we were here.
Yeah, kind of shitty move, Michelle.
Oh, fuck that girl.
Yeah, so Animal runs off Eminem, and Eminem are like in the crowd with a microphone to keep talking. So Animal gets on the microphone and he explains that, he's been going all around selling the new Road Warriors DVD because they were at this point. This is basically the impetus for why this angle even happened. Is
he's
because
fucking shilling. Wait, what? Because I made a comment about how he's shilling for the new Road Warriors DVD.
Yeah.
What? That's just the whole thing?
Yeah, pretty much this whole storyline was an excuse to shill that DVD some more.
What
on
the
TV.
fuck?
But yeah, which, by the way, great DVD, actually. I've watched it.
Oh,
before.
really?
It's a really good documentary.
Well, that's nice.
But Animal is here. He's been shilling the DVD, but he hears all the time how there's some tag team in the WWE that thinks they're the greatest. And he explains that they're not. They're just a couple of baby punks.
Yeah, and the crowd starts chanting, "Punk, punk, punk," and I'm like, no, that's the wrong wrestler, but okay.
Yeah, which also, again, very strong language from the Road Warriors. Okay,
were they anti-swearing?
Yes, it's been talked about that, like, part of what makes it's been said before that part of why the Road Warriors didn't work in the Attitude Era is because their insults come off too corny.
That's really funny. You would think some dudes named the Road Warriors would have some real heavy hitters, but
yeah, for some dudes who look like they belong in Mad Max or whatever, they have very family friendly PG insults.
Hey man, Mad Max World is very strict about using the heck words. Okay, like you gotta get creative with it. Otherwise, you can't like Mad Max, right? Like that's an essential part of Mad Maxing is having corny one-liners. Duh.
Yeah.
I love it when Mad Max turns to the camera and says, "I'm mad, Max," and then jumps into another car and suicide bombs it.
Of course.
That's absolutely
best part. So then Joey Mercury, in a scene that precedes disaster, or as I wrote it, Joey Mercury, an idiot, challenges the Road Warriors to a tag title match at the Great American Bash.
Yeah,
but Johnny Nitro gets on the microphone to explain that this is simply not possible because Animal's partner is dead.
Oh shit! Yeah, they went there. What? Fuck. Okay.
Whoa. Yeah, because Road Warrior Hawk by this point had already died.
I kind of assumed.
Of course. But at this, they try to do a bit where Animal is like, this pisses off Animal and Heidenreich has to hold him back, except Heidenreich jumped the gun and kind of like tackled him before Animal even tried to move.
Yeah. Look, Heidenreich's just really fucking excited, all right? He's got a new friend. Heidenreich likes having friends.
Yeah, so he gently holds Animal back, and he explains like, "Hey, brother, I'm on your side here, man, but let me be your tag team partner."
Yeah, okay. This shit was hilarious to me because like Heidenreich friend propositions Animal or vice versa. I can't remember.
No, Heidenreich propositions to Animal.
Yeah, and what's funny is like Animal seems hesitant about this, even though he like kind of came out to do the safe spot on Heidenreich. So okay, but it's also like hilariously awkward and comes across as like Frankenstein's monster trying to make friends with just Animal from the Muppets because Heidenreich is like weirdly robotic in his delivery and looks like an oversized, super muscly human who's just learning to like use his like motor functions, and Animal talks like rah, 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 rah.
But Animal is like, "You sure you want to do this? This ain't the NFL. It's got to step up. This is the big time." Whatever. I guess Heidenreich is an ex-NFL player, I assume. Otherwise, that line doesn't make a lot of sense.
The unfrozen Nazi is an NFL player.
Sure. Whatever. Anyway, Animal relents, and it is now official at the Great American Bash. It will be Animal and Heidenreich versus M&M for the tag team titles. And this is part of now a storyline where Heidenreich becomes the newest member of the Legion of Doom.
Yeah, these GAB
And-
matches are just lining themselves up left and right. Let me tell you, everyone's got some shit to some beef to work out at the Great American Bash. God damn.
A bashing will be done at the Great
And
American Bash.
it might even be great and maybe even American.
Oh, there's something very American we'll get to later that happens.
Oh, yes.
That happens at the Bash.
Peak of American.
But the next match, the actual next match of the show is Eddie Guerrero versus Hardcore Holly.
Yep, again, happening for some reason.
Yeah, it's kind of just there for Eddie to have a match and win.
Yeah. And we do a throwback to like to what's been going on earlier in the episode, and we cut back to like a clip of Eddie saying like, you know, Ray, I know you're watching, Dominic, I know you're watching, Dominic, and he's giving all these directions to Dominic. And again, on the subject of wrestlers don't watch SmackDown, it would be really funny if Ray just like was not watching.
Yeah, man,
Like,
it's Ray's week off, and he just decided to not watch SmackDown this week.
yeah, you think Ray's gonna fucking watch SmackDown to like see how Eddie Guerrero wants to torment him this time? Like, I feel like Ray would be too smart to fall into that trap. So hopefully he's that smart. I just think it'd be really funny if Eddie's just like fucking speaking into the void right now.
Like, yeah, that would be pretty funny. Absolutely. The match is whatever, really. It's a lot. Hardcore Holly kind of gets to like be the avenging babyface to kind of make Eddie feel some pain and all that. He's a pretty hard hitting dude. He chops Eddie real hard, and Eddie's chest looks a little iffy.
I mean, it doesn't seem like terribly like. I mean, he does some damage to be sure. Like it's far
Sure.
from a one-sided affair, but also like, my man, I feel like you're kind of like going into this destined to fail, you know?
Yeah, the end of the match gets to Eddie's on the outside, and Bob Holly's trying to pull at him, and the referee is at the ropes trying to get him back in the ring. And Eddie grabs the referee by the shirt, and he's like, "Hey, man, stop holding my shirt."
Yeah, literally, we hear that, and I was like, okay.
And then Eddie like rakes his eye, the referee's eye.
Yeah.
DQ. The eye.
DQ. A ref. DQ.
Ref.
Look, I know your eyes just got raked, and you can't see shit now, but you did see that was Eddie Guerrero eye raking.
You know who did that?
That ref. Ref, what are you doing? But I'm memeing it up here, but I have to say this is actually a pretty fucking dope match between Eddie and Holly. I can't remember. You said we've watched Eddie before on the show. I don't remember it terribly well.
I swear that we watched him wrestle Ric Flair at.
Like, anyway, it was like early Eddie, and like,
yeah,
I have to say, seeing him at the very tail end of his career, like, God, my man. It's easy to see why this man is so fucking revered in the wrestling canon, because holy shit, he is insane. There is so much clear talent here. Like, I talked last week about his like just easy charisma, but also in ring. He's one of those wrestlers that just makes everything he does look super easy and effortless, and it's incredible to watch. But he eventually gets Holly into its submission hold. And
well, yeah, what's all part of the thing is that after he rakes the eye of the ref, he like pushes Holly backwards into the announcer's table to hit him in the back. And when Holly kind of staggers his way back into the ring, as he's laying down there, Eddie grabs a pipe under the ring and just clocks him in the knee.
What the fuck was that? Ow.
And then he uses that as a way to get Holly into the Texas Cloverleaf submission, which is kind of like the sharpshooter, but I think the legs are positioned a little differently. And Bob Holly taps out to it. And
what's funny is like he like sets up for that like pseudo sharpshooter, and Holly like taps a couple times, and it's kind of like, wait, no, I haven't fucking finished locking you in. Give it a second.
Not time yet.
Yeah, and then he finished locking, and so Holly just kind of stops after a couple taps, and then Eddie locks in. And he's like, all right, now I'm done. Okay, fine, bye. Yeah.
So Eddie Guerrero wins the match, and then after the match, he gets a microphone and he wants to apologize to Vicky for what happened earlier. Is Eddie explains that he's had time to think about what she said, and he wants to make clear he's like he loves her, and he loves his family, and he wouldn't do anything to hurt his family, And apparently some heckling starts because he stops mid speech to say, "I'm making an apology to my wife. Shut the hell up," which just gets more boos.
Absolutely.
And
how dare you try to apologize to your wife?
Fuck you.
Ultimate heel move right there. Fuck you.
Yeah. So he's just saying that he loves his family and he wants to prove how much he loves Vicky. And he's going to do that by giving Ray a chance, an opportunity. Where and so give Ray a chance to be the man Vicky seems to think he is. And at the Great American Bash, it will be Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio. If Ray wins the match, Eddie will listen to his wife and never tell the secret, keep it down under lock and key. But if Eddie wins the match, then he's telling everybody.
Yeah, okay. I feel like I need to analyze the psychology of this because everything about this seems weird. First of all, I feel like apologizing to your wife for your behavior and then still leaving the door pretty far open for you to still do the thing anyway. Pretty fucking backhanded way of doing that. Love the heel logic. But also, I really doubt that in a storyline that was kicked off by Eddie Guerrero being mad that Rey Mysterio beat him in a match, Rey Mysterio beating him in yet another match is what's going to get him to shut his fucking trap finally. Big X to doubt on that. I feel like either way, Ray's kind of fucked.
Hey now, as he ends the promo with, I am a man who keeps his promises. And then immediately his theme song hits, which of course starts with, I lie, I cheat, I steal.
I steal, yep. Absolutely. You gotta be you gotta be paying attention when you're watching WWE Smackdown because there's nothing they like more than their subtle bits of text to really add some extra meaning there. You got to pay close attention. It tells you everything you need to know. He's a Guerrero. He lies. He cheats. He steals. Oh my God, he's not going to keep his promise. No.
All right. So we get an update from Cole and Taz talking about the Muhammad Hassan Undertaker situation and how the heinous actions that happened last week that we are not talking about. We're not talking about the incident. We are saying there was an incident, but we're not talking. We're not talking about it because of the implication.
Because of the no, there was an.
There was no incident.
There's just there's just an implication.
Okay. Muhammad Hassan's attorney is here tonight to give a pre-written speech. And out comes a very, very young Tommaso Ciampa. Tommaso Ciampa will become a regular of NXT during the Triple H Black and Gold era of the show. One of the best heels in the show's history, as well as his incredible tag team with Johnny Gargano. Now he's on Raw. Finally, he's working with The Miz.
I do have to appreciate that Taz lampshades the fact that Muhammad Hassan is not here. He's like, why isn't Muhammad Hassan here? And Michael Cole just kind of goes, eh. And they just move on. Really dodging that question there. The $1 million question that no one seems to want to answer. So young Tommaso Ciampa is there instead. The very yoked lawyer.
Of course. As he gets in, someone throws up a sign that's completely blurred out. What's on the sign?
Okay, wait, fuck. What? This was 7/14, right?
Yep.
7/14/2005. Smackdown. Blurred sign. I want to see if anyone knows what this is. Smackdown. It's also a nice sign. Sign blurred. Shit. I don't know if we can get it.
I don't think.
Damn. So. I want to know what was on the sign. What got blurred and why? I want to know what.
The sad reality of SmackDown being taped. They can do that.
I want to know. I want to know too if it was like something that was blurred when they actually aired it, or something that was like has since been blurred on Peacock.
Also true. Also interesting to ask.
And I have to wonder what either reason would be.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
it'd be funny if it was just a giant WWF logo, and that's how they had.
Oh, that would be hysterical. Fucking, that's a power move right there. And just throw up the old logo just to try to get WWE sued in real time.
Yeah, because they had to do that. I had to do that. They've mostly fixed it now because they now are allowed to show that logo again.
Yeah.
But for a very long time, they had to blur every time the WWF logo came up, and every time somebody said WWF, they had to go WW blank.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that. Like there was
that
one,
happened. I don't remember when that happened for us, but I remember.
I think it was one of our Elizabeth episodes.
It might have been
during you explaining it to her as well as me.
That might have been that. That might have
been
happened.
The Randy Savage wedding or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I think people were doing backstage interviews and they had to, and they get the WW.
Yep. And they just cut off. They just cut it off. You know, the WW what? The world will never know.
We'll never know. So Ciampa puts on his reading glasses and he explains that he is Thomas Whitney Esquire.
Yeah. Yes.
And he is the attorney for Muhammad Hassan, and he is reading a prepared statement that explains that Muhammad Hassan has faced so much vitriol for the events of last week that we will not be saying any more specific about and showing no replays of.
Just
events that happened.
It's a thing that happened, and Muhammad's not going to be here anymore.
Yeah, he is taking a leave from SmackDown. Big cheers.
Yeah, he's taking a leave from SmackDown, and he will not come back until he beats The Undertaker at Great American Bash.
There's a whole point. There's a whole section where he talks about Hassan would like to remind you all that he is an American just like the rest of you. And in America, he has rights, and he has the freedom of expression. And this is a sad day to see people treat him like this. And yeah, Whitney says verbatim, he will never appear again on SmackDown. Big cheers before he finishes that sentence. And then he finishes the sentence that Hassan will not be coming back until he beats The Undertaker at the Great American Bash, which, man,
okay. if that ain't just a perfect sign of things to come. That got a good laugh out of me. Just him being like, he will not. His only condition for coming back is beating Undertaker at Great American Bash. He might as well have said, and if for whatever reason he doesn't beat the Undertaker at Great American Bash, he's gonna retire and go be a fucking principal of a public school somewhere. Because why the hell not? I don't know why that would ever happen. That's very specific, but just spitballing.
I'm not going to retire after losing to the my shirt that says I am not going to retire after losing to the Undertaker is getting a lot of questions that are answered by the shirt.
Yeah, look, I know it sounds specific, but I just feel like you need to have my bases covered here, okay?
Yeah. So the Thomas Whitney has more to say until the Undertaker arrives, and Undertaker, noted babyface, shows up and does his entire fucking entrance and his entire undressing routine, all to just beat up an attorney who has done nothing wrong.
Yeah, like literally. But man, if there's one thing the fucking SmackDown audience hates, it's lawyers. And if there's one thing zombies hate, it is also lawyers. Why? Lawyers.
So
I don't know.
He backs Whitney into a corner, and Thomas Whitney is like, "Hey, I just want to remind you that I am not a wrestler. I am an attorney." And Undertaker's response, and the Undertaker's response is to goozle him and then choke slam him, and then hit him with the tombstone pile driver.
What? And backstage, a young Tommaso Ciampa was like, "Oh my God, that was such an honor. Thank you, sir, so much for Tombstone pile driving me. I will never forget this moment. One day, I will return to this company and I will honor everything you gave me tonight." But what really cracked me up was the fact that Undertaker did his entire ass bit to just come beat up this lawyer
His
for
2-minute long, his 2-minute long entrance. He slowly takes his coat off, his duster off.
Yup.
He takes his
Takes
coat off.
He does the eye roll thing a couple times.
Whole deal.
Yeah,
just to beat up the attorney.
The whole enchilada. And like I have to say, would not have expected the time the Undertaker beat up an innocent lawyer to be one of the showcases of like just why Undertaker was as over as he was and why he was such a good character performer. But like, man, this is definitely one of the like best showcases that I think we've seen for things we've watched for this show, which is fucking wild. Why did I get like the full Undertaker experience to have him come beat up Thomas what's his nuts Esquire? Okay.
Yep, pretty much.
It's cool to see though, but yeah. I guess that'll Undertaker's like that'll teach you for supporting an industry that lets dumb old ladies sue McDonald's for spilling her coffee. If there's one thing I hate as an undead zombie mortician wizard, it's frivolous lawsuits.
I know that lawsuit was actually not nearly as frivolous as it was made to appear, but I still blame the woman.
Oh man, extra unbased Undertaker. You hate to see it.
So, next match is Booker T versus Christian. Well, it's sort of a match, I guess, because as Booker T is making his entrance, Christian comes down and brutally attacks him a lot.
Yep. Yeah. Booker's doing his whole entrance. I'm getting into it. I love me some Booker. And then Christian comes the fuck out of nowhere and ambushes him. God damn it.
Yep. Christian just beats him all the way around the ring. Sharmell is just like, please stop.
No. And then Booker just kind of squashes him.
Yeah, Christian rolls Booker into the ring.
Christian squashes him, yeah.
Yeah, he rolls Booker into the ring. Booker staggers to his feet. The referee reluctantly calls for the bell for the match to start. Christian hits the unprettier. 1, 2, 3, get owned.
That's fucking lame, dude. Why the hell are we squashing Booker? What?
Gotta get that heat.
But like, he's a 5-time. How the hell do you just squash a 5-time?
Because Christian could in fact dig that, sucker.
You know what? Fair enough. I didn't think of that angle. Godspeed to you. That makes perfect sense.
So then I couldn't believe what I was seeing. We get a slow close-up panning into like a wooden doorway to like a bedroom. And the announcer is just rambling about the Boogeyman. And I was like, oh no, because these are the debuting vignettes for the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
They jump scare when they open the door, but
okay, jump scare.
Right. I didn't say it was a good one. I said it was a jump scare.
I didn't even think that counted. See, I want to put forward what I, for some reason, thought this was going to be. Because Austin's doing another, oh shit, we're getting him, oh no. Again, always a great sign, as has shown in the past. But I, for some reason, because they were leaning hard into this Boogeyman thing. And I was like they were going on, and it was like almost comically slow paced, like this build up. So I kind of fully expected for this door that we're panning close to fly open, and all of a sudden it was a fucking disco dude dancing to like Boogie Wonderland or something, which may I just say, I think would have been so much the better way to go with this.
I would have laughed.
I think it would have been fucking iconic if we had like a disco dancer wrestler show up and it was like all a fake out, like pretending like it was going to be some like horror wrestler. But no, it wasn't. Although I will say, from Austin, from your account, they don't exactly play the Boogeyman straight, do they?
They don't play him as a boogeyman, if I know, but we're not going to get into that. But I will say, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The Boogeyman vignettes. As soon as they were, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then he mentioned the Boogeyman, and I was like, oh no!
Yeah. Yeah, you got really concerned there. Although it seems like to some relief, we're not getting him on this angle. So,
No, he didn't debut until October.
Yes, we gotta get him. We gotta hit during Spoopy month. I appreciate it.
Spookies. But after that, we get the final match of the show: Orlando Jordan versus Batista in a champion v champion match. I made a note that JBL with a real nice shiner coming out with Orlando. And basically, he gets on a mic to bitch about Batista making him lose to someone as shitty as the Blue Meanie. How dare you? And he complains, and he talks about how he says he's beat everybody in the locker room, whether even these Kennedy loving Democrats have to admit it. And at the Great American Bash is going to be the match that should have been at WrestleMania, and I understood what that was after later in the match. I'll explain. I'll explain what he meant by that. But he's talking about how he is a wrestling god, and he is going to beat Batista. And I was like, cool, whatever. Shut the fuck up and go away.
Yeah. I mean, fuck JBL. That is my only comment here. Is just fuck JBL. He's just there rambling, and I'm just like, cool. Okay. We done yet?
Yeah. So as before Batista comes out, we get through some of the Smackdown plugs, and I made a note that they plugged War of the Worlds by Steven Spielberg. That'll be great. That'll be a great.
Picked a real winner there. It was
that'll
Steven
be a real
Spielberg's
successful
War of the
movie.
Worlds, some kind of like men's gray hair dye and Subway.
Just for men and Subway.
Beautiful combination.
I gotta say, at least it wasn't the period. This wasn't the period of time where they had Jared from Subway do the Subway ads on WWE TV.
Oh no!
Yeah, he appears on TV on Raw at least once.
Gotta love how just all the sex pests somehow end up on WWE TV.
That
fucking
great
magnet.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm just imagining this episode's perfect target demographic, who the next day, the Saturday that follows SmackDown, he's up. He does his grocery shop in the morning, where he makes sure to pick up some Just for Men, takes it home, then he goes out to eat for lunch. What does he eat? Some goddamn Subway. That's right, like a patriotic American.
And then that evening he goes and sees War of the Worlds.
One ticket for what is sure to be the greatest movie of all time, Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds. And then he came the fuck out of that movie going, wait, the aliens were defeated with just the common cold? Are you fucking kidding me?
So, Batista done come on out. This is where I made note of the WrestleMania thing earlier, as Cole was talking about how we all thought that WrestleMania was going to be Batista versus JBL. And now I remember what happened. Is basically that Batista was on SmackDown at the time, and he won the Royal Rumble, which means he could challenge whoever he wanted for the world title. Mm-hmm. And Triple H, who was the other world champion at the time, was very much like trying to push him to challenge JBL. And in a super iconic moment, when the time comes to choose who he's going to fight at WrestleMania, he picks Triple H and turns on him, and that basically dissolved Evolution.
Yeah, which it's unfortunate. Seems like some people kind of got screwed out of some things that they could have.
Great story. That's a great storyline, the dissolution of Evolution. Wow. Okay.
The dissolution of evolution. I
Yeah,
love that.
Did not see how that coming out of my mouth as I was saying it. So that's what they're talking about here, is they all kind of assumed that Batista, because he was in Evolution, was not going to challenge his fellow stablemate for the world title. That he wouldn't do that. He was obviously going to go challenge JBL for the WWE title, but nope.
And JBL said, and I took that personally.
Well, yeah, JBL could have been in the main event of WrestleMania losing to Batista, as opposed to being in the middle of WrestleMania losing to John Cena.
Yeah, he's fucking JBL's on mic going, and trust me, this ain't sour grapes, but the fact that Triple H was in the main event of WrestleMania and I wasn't makes me fucking sick.
Yeah.
Oh, man. God.
So the match is all right. It's a lot. Batista dominates most of it because Batista is about 2 levels above Orlando Jordan at bare minimum.
Orlando seems like Orlando seems like he's talented at least, but yeah,
right, but
not enough to stand up to Batista. Really, I have to say, this was really I pointed out to you definitely my first time seeing Batista in singles competition, and I gotta say, I get why he had the appeal that he did and why he got to be the face of the company for a hot second. He's clearly good. He's clearly got some of that natural charisma. He also feels like the perfect face of the company for this era because, he's just, this is going to sound mean, but he's just bland enough to be to be safe enough to put at the head of everything. We're not taking too many risks with this man. Again, talented guy, and clearly charismatic, clearly got some skills. I enjoy him in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. He's clearly good with his words and his performances and his acting. But this is he's definitely one of those dudes that feels like WWE champion, the WWE champion. It feels like he was genetically engineered to do this. And the traits that were put in were got those decent mic skills, can wrestle good, big beefy boy. Yeah.
I wonder if that's kind of why Cena ended up overtaking him. Is because Cena had that more of an edge to him and was more dynamically interesting as a character than Batista was. As terms of a baby face. I wonder if that's obviously, I don't know. I wasn't there, but I wonder if that played a part in it. Because I think that's definitely true that John Cena, until he cleaned up his whole act for the sake of being kid friendly, definitely had more going for him.
Yeah, he had a little more
even if Batista was good.
Little more of a gimmick, right? And Batista didn't get a chance to go outside of kind of that very safe zone. So I don't to blame him for this. I can see why he was the face of the company at the time he was, and I also see why he doesn't get talked about to the extent of your Dwaynes and your Johns.
Yeah, he got overshadowed by John Cena real quick. Did not take him long.
It's what is unfortunate, but he's got a pretty lucrative career working for the MCU now, so I think he did pretty well.
Yeah, he did all right for himself. But Batista is strong, and he kind of overpowered. He mostly has to fight off JBL's interference. Is probably the biggest challenge for him during the match. And late in the match, Orlando Jordan bumps the ref, and JBL runs in and hits Batista square in the face with a chair.
Dude, there's so much fucking JBL shenanigans this whole time. Every time Orlando Jordan got the ref's attention a little bit, JBL was just running in and causing shit. Just time after time after time. And Batista kept fucking weaseling out of it. Just barely making it out of it. It kind of got repetitive after a hot second because it was just JBL fucks him up. But Batista survives it. Okay, let's do it again.
It's probably for the best. The match only went about 8-9 minutes.
Yeah, that was about the most of it I could stand, I think.
Yeah, but I will laugh, though, is after the chair bit, JBL runs and grabs the cup of water from one of the announcers and throws it in the ref's face to wake him up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. He's JBL's got like a fucking like Rube Goldberg machine going here,
Mhm.
effectively, where um uh d- 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 yeah, Orlando Jordan knocks him over, and um was he did the chair then, right?
Yeah,
And
that's why he
then
did the
like
chair, and then he
yeah, it's
got
like
the
it's
water
like a
and threw
perfect
him on the
motion.
wall.
Orlando Jordan fucks up the ref. JBL comes in with a chair, slides the hell out of the ring, just with perfect precision, grabs a cup of water off a desk and just chucks it right in the ref's face, and then immediately steps back, hands up, as if he's done fucking nothing.
I ain't done nothing.
I ain't done jack shit. The
But
fluidity, the style, the grace. Gotta hand it to JBL. That's some top tier heel shenanigans.
absolutely. But Batista kicks out of the
Oh,
chair
yeah.
spot. And so Jordan distracts the ref again, and JBL runs in to go for the clothesline from hell. Batista hits him back with a clothesline of his own. Batista hits the Batista bomb for the win on Orlando Jordan. Eats shit. But then JBL runs in after the match, hits the clothesline from hell, and stands tall, posing with the world title to end the show.
And yeah, so like the show, of course, having its cake and eating it too, with like Batista gets the dub, but we still end with the shot of because we can't have fucking Orlando Jordan beating Batista, but
Right.
also
So
like
Batista's going to win.
we still got to have like the bad guy standing tall at the end. So just like last second, one more heel shenanigans to knock down Drax the Destroyer for real this time, and JBL's there like, I got the belt. Cool.
I'm a win.
I'm a win. I'm sure that's definitely gonna happen.
So yeah, a very eventful episode of SmackDown. I largely enjoyed it.
Yeah, no. Again, this is a much less
This
offensive
is
version of what we had in the
absolutely
Katie Vick
insane.
era.
Yeah, it feels like this is a ruthless aggression that's not necessarily trying to be as offensive. It's just going for crazy. Absolutely insane shit going on at all times.
And it makes it more fun that way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So now we have set the stage for the Great American Bash I'll be watching, of course, that Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio again. If Eddie can finally get that dub, well, Rey's fucked. If Rey wins again, then Eddie super duper swears, no take backsies, that he isn't gonna tell the secret.
Yeah. Definitely no fingers crossed there. I swear to God, we're gonna come back from this and get a fucking like secret camera shot of Eddie Guerrero just like having his fingers crossed behind his back.
I don't even know how that works. I'm pretty sure I saw both his hands in that promo.
A Guerrero finds a way.
Yeah, but that is for a later time. Next time on the Noobs and Knockouts podcast, we start a new arc.
Oh shit, buddy!
It's time to go back to my for entry point into wrestling 2012 Raw. Man, according to a lot of people, it's incredible that I stayed. But
so you said.
We will go to 2012 Raw, and it's time for the love square of our generation.
Oh boy.
CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, and Kane. They're all trying to get the same girlfriend. And I mean, I guess they're also fighting over the WWE title or something. But mainly, they're fighting over AJ Lee. And so
I'm real I am intrigued because we have three of my faves all thrown into one. My ultimate big boy fave, CM Punk, versus one of my early faves early on for being a goober, and now he's just one of the best wrestlers on the planet, Daniel Bryan. And Glenn, Kane, man, I really wish he didn't.
Time to separate that art from the artist.
Yeah, man, I wish he didn't spend his time moonlighting as a dipshit libertarian mayor Jacobs. And AJ Lee, who I know you love and who seems pretty dope.
Hey, Kane is a heck of a wrestler when he puts that mask on.
So are we getting masked Kane? Do we have masks on?
This is masked era.
Thank Christ. Unmasked Kane makes me sad.
Yep. So and that is for next time. We'll start up that storyline. I'm super excited to revisit it all.
Oh God.
But until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. All right, friends, thank you for joining us on once again another wonderful episode of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. Thank you so much for being here. Returning listener, viewers, what have you, thank you so much for being here. You know the drill. Thanks for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, your eyeballs. Thanks for having a great time with us, and please just keep coming back time after time after time. We love having you here. Newbies, hey, how you doing? You don't know the drill. Thank you also for being here. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you are brand new to this whole crazy wrestling thing or a veteran of the wild, wacky world, either way, we hope you feel welcome here. We hope you had a great time here. We hope you would like to continue to keep coming back to have a great time with us time after time after time. If you would like to keep having a great time with us and you're not entirely sure how to do so, not to worry, my friends, I have you covered. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell. Make sure and turn a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a brand new episode. Give us that sweet engagement. Check out our playlist. Austin has been kind enough to organize all of the storylines and shit that we follow into their own separate playlists. So if there's something you want to follow all the way down, you don't want to do a whole lot of skipping around, you can check that out. It's really cool. And hey, on our recent episodes, you can see our beautiful, lovely faces and our awesome new HUD and all the secret visual gags that we hide in here. It's a great time. Come check us out on the YouTube. But of course, we have so many friends here who are fans of the audio-only experience. We got some good shit for you too. Audio-only fans, you can find us on 3 of the best places to find your podcast: Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Come check us out there. Come give us a listen. Come give us a download. Give us a 5-star rating and a nice little review if you're so inclined. Let people and let the algorithm know these guys are pretty cool, and maybe more people should be listening to them, checking them out. I don't know. I'm just saying. Noobs and Knockouts podcast, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts. Check us out there. Of course, past that, we have some good old social media for you to get in contact with us on. First of all, the big boy of our social media is our Twitter. We are at Noobs and Knoxpod on Twitter. That's Noobs, the letter N, Knoxpod on Twitter. Come check us out there. It's a great time. We do memes. We do discourse. We post every single time we drop a brand new episode, so you guys know what the hell's going on at all times. And of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting. My friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Right, as usual, every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS is AEW Dynamite, the one wrestling show that me and David are both consistently going to watch live.
Hell
so at least one of us will be tweeting out about it pretty much every week. But in addition, I keep up with all the WWE, AEW, and Impact Wrestling pay-per-views. So upcoming, by the time this episode is dropped, we will have just finished SummerSlam. So I can't speak as to what's happened at SummerSlam, but it's the first pay-per-view run, but with Triple H as head of creative. So I have high hopes, at least. But
cool shit.
Next WWE show after that is on September 3rd at WWE Clash at the Castle. It will be WWE's first pay-per-view in the United Kingdom since the 2003 Insurrection show, and the first decent WWE pay-per-view in the United Kingdom since 1992 SummerSlam. The Insurrection shows were basically might as well have been house shows.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
This Clash of the Castle is going to be a big deal, mainly by its main event, where it will be either Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. Sorry, SummerSlam hasn't happened yet at time of recording. Versus Drew McIntyre for the Uwu Championship.
Oh, hail the Uwu Championship!
The undisputed WWE Universal title. So that's going to be pretty lit. God, I hope Drew beats Roman for the title right there. Eat shit and die.
Here.
It has been long enough.
Absolutely agree.
But so that's coming up on September 3rd. September 4th is AEW All Out.
Hell yeah, brother.
There is a match been made for that show, but my co-host hasn't watched Dynamite yet. So
I'm a very busy man. Okay.
I won't say anything about it. But it is September 4th. But on September 4th, Labor Day weekend, that will be AEW All Out, coming to you live from Chicago, Illinois. And then, of course, for Impact Wrestling, their next card should be Bound for Glory, coming up in late October based on the last 4 years. They haven't announced the date yet officially, but I would be surprised if if it doesn't come in late October. So that is what is upcoming for that.
Hell yeah. I'm like, oh, hello. All right.
Whoa there. All right.
God.
Glad that made it into the recording.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh jeez. Oh the dignity, the sanctity of our podcast has been ruined by my overactive nose. Oh dear. No, be sure to check all that out. It's a great time over on the Twitter. If you like listening to us for some reason ramble about wrestling here, it all kind of carries over on the Twitter. Our voices are quite distinct. Austin is a very intelligent human being who knows what the fuck he's talking about. I just meme it up, do my usual color commentary. Either way, if you like either of us or both of us, I'm sure you'll find something you like over on the Twitter. Come check it out there. Of course, if you want to get in super direct contact with us, there is our email address. We have an email address, guys. noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and this time, knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us there. Tell us what you like about the show, what you don't like. Give us requests for things you want to see on the show, wrestling, media, companies, arcs, timelines, stories, fucking whatever. We love it. Come yell at us for our hot takes or tell them how absolutely red-pilled and base they are. Because we are the arbiters of all the correct takes, as I'm sure you're aware. Either way, we just love people saying hi. Come say hi. We would love to say hi back. noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. And of course, finally, there is our Patreon. We are also the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on Patreon. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. Shout out to our $1, or I guess $2 a month. He went a little overboard. Friend of the show, patron Kyle Smith, the Sugar Daddy, for his support. Enjoy your perks, buddy. If you want to enjoy perks along with Kyle, check us out, Noobs and Knockouts podcast at Patreon.
See y'all next time.
Hasta luego.